Good morning from Gavin Emmett at the Sachsenring. We're at one of the most technical tracks in the championship, where tyres are often put to the test. These shots coming to us live from the grid, where technicians and engineers are carrying out on
pole position for the first time in 2021. Frenchman Johan Zarco joined on the front row for his first front row start in over 2 decades. He goes from third. Then it's Miller, marked off the Michelin rear tyre on the LC Honda. He's on row 3. Then it's Bagnaia, brings Alex Marquez on the 4th row. Lot of work to do from 16th.
The Grand Prix will start in just a few moments. Fabio Quartararo is the big favourite, starting from top spot on the grid.
17th goes Morbidelli and Maverick Vinales into his MotoGP career. He can take some big risks as well from the back.
To the riders in pole, but it will rain at the ring. Will it rain?
Well, normally that's a foregone conclusion. It's been Marc Marquez, as we mentioned, 10 successive on the Yamaha back in 2009. There was the Live Championship pre-Germany. Fabio Quartararo in second place. The top 2 men in the rankings, the top 2 men on the grid. There are your circle about 1 man. It's been the Marc Marquez show around this 3.7-kilometre Sachsenring.
Can he bounce back into action and find the podium here today? Era for Aprilia. Can Aleix Espargaro now get his first podium since today,
where Aprilia finally get their first podium in the modern 4-stroke. It's based on Miguel Oliveira's brilliant speed and consistency in FP4 yesterday. One-shot device.
MotoGP 2021 has been quite the spectacle. What Zarco, but Quartararo's coming through. It might well be Aleix Espargaro. Marquez has got at the inside line as well.
Side of Marquez into second place. The dream start then from the front row for Aprilia's Aleix Espargaro.
On the approach to turn 5. Excellent start from him. Quartararo pushed back to 4th. The 2 Frenchmen then.
Surely is going to want to try and get to an Aleix Espargaro quickly here. He loves to be leading in the Sachsenring. He's trying to get away through on Fabio Quartararo. They scrape up through turns 9 and 10. These fast left-handed 12 for the first time.
Zarco thought about a move. He wasn't close enough on Marc Marquez. It's as you were. Turn 13 in the background. Brad Binder. Oh, he is. He's having a lunge, Marc Marquez. In the meantime, Binder. Great start from him.
83 Repsol Honda leading the way. He takes the lead from Aleix Espargaro. Quartararo having a real corner.
Miguel Oliveira just struggling to get going in the early stages of this. He's 6th. He's got it. His teammate all over this to 12th. His teammate Lecuona up to 15th as well.
Disaster for 2 of the Yamahas. Vinales started P20, big turn 7 for the second time, and he leads in Germany.
Here's the move into turn 13 from. He's got that feeling back. This is the battle for second then. Zarco just behind him. He'll be Callum. Look, he's through. Brilliant from Aleix.
Nothing wrong with Aprilia's corner speed. Aleix Espargaro's touched upon that all week. He made this move on the previous lap. He's made it again. Twitchy by Aleix Espargaro's Aprilia.
No, look at the Ducati power. He's got the inside line now. Can he get through? No. Look at Miller again up the inside. And Fabio
mistake. He did a 125 flat. That's dumped him to the back of the pack.
Lear's up to 12th for him to do. Alex Rins, his teammate, a bit further up in 8th. Martin 9th. Nakagami at the moment not really doing anything with that.
Aleix Espargaro be close enough to retaliate on Marquez down the hill into turn 12, just like he did last time around. He climbed up towards turn 10.
Looking back from Aleix Espargaro to Johan Zarco. Espargaro was quietly trying to find a way through, but it's that familiar sight out front. It's like rolling back the years here.
Martley down the hill into turn 12, so lap 3 to be completed. It will be Marc Marquez who sets the bit of Espargaro behind him.
Further back there, then Fabio Quartararo, not where he wanted to be.
Right, Steve Binder, he was the real hard charger. He is a Sunday man. He got the gloves on very early on. He's right on the so far. Started P6. He's circulating in 6th place right now.
Jack Miller in 4th. The board with the Aussie now. This is the area where Miller is suffering throughout the weekend.
Second side of tyre, the wheel spin. Miller just couldn't get that rear tyre hooked up. He was brilliant in sector 1 all weekend. Now they spot Marquez just that little bit later on the brakes, but again there, it looked like the Aprilia man had the better
cooked place. Yamaha not where they want to be across the board.
Yeah, Oliveira's got into his groove now. He just sets quicker than the race leader, Marc Marquez. That's why he was able to comfortably ease on through Quartararo.
All-time lap record set by Marc Marquez. Oh dear, what's happened here? Alex Marquez and Danilo Petrucci have had
Marquez, not the time for Petrucci to be chewing dirt. He needs results to keep his seat in that case. Of course, as you'd expect, completely conflicting opinions. Although Petrucci, he's not had the best of luck this week.
We just saw further back on Jack Miller. We're on board with it now. Will we see the nose there of Miguel Oliveira?
Vinales is going to be frustrated again. The only men that are quicker than him on circuit right now are the men 22nd place after that early mistake dumped into last.
Across the line, Alex Ridwan's doing a great job in the early stages of this one in 8th as well. We've got all 6 manufacturers. Tim is holding off Dwan here. Mears getting frustrated in 10th place.
Yeah, guys, looking at the times, they're doing between half and 3/4 of a second slower than they faster than that yesterday with 20 laps on. So I really think Mark's got to the front.
For that, Simon. Also, to add to that, some of the guys that have got the better pace are mired behind other bikes.
Salvador has crashed. It's going to move Morbidelli and Vinales at one spot. He would old topple brilliant man. Lap 6 completed. Marquez and Espargaro exchanged with Quartararo.
Just cannot find a way through on the Monster Energy Yamaha rider. Rins is still there, but
Taka Nakagami really didn't capitalise on the extra performance of that soft rear tyre at the start of this race. He missed from the medium from the soft rear tyre combination. Nakagami down in 12th place. He was only a 10th slower than Marquez at the moment.
So, back at the front, it's Marc Marquez who leads on lap 7 from the Aprilia. The red twinches on this lap from the Pramac Ducati rider. It's just cutting maybe a 10th or 2 adrift now with Aleix.
Espargaro in 11th, Nakagami in 12th, they're doing 1:22.2s. They're all running identical pace.
How long before the cream rises to the top though? Jack Miller, what a lunge that's wide, but that's brilliant. Jack Miller, the Aussie, just seeing the door open there from the Frenchman Johan Zarco,
And he's just a few spits, and they're not going to disrupt this German Grand Prix. Bagnaia having an absolutely just running out of momentum here. He's in 15th right now. Bagnaia, he's a second behind Rossi.
He won't be spooked by it, there might be others that are. It did not go to plan. That start for Marquez. Straight up the inside, sat up Quartararo. He lost momentum there as well. Let's look at it.
Quartararo got the initial jump, didn't he? And then Aleix Espargaro got up the inside of him, and then Marquez to be aggressive.
Meanwhile, the riders have just shot past us in the commentary box. At the front, you can see here, Jack Miller now is eyeing up a move on Aleix Espargaro, really through on Jorge Martin, and has moved up into 9th place.
He had to work hard for that pass. He had to be paid.
White flag has been displayed. Now that means that at any point now you can come in to change for wets. If you are playing into the hands of Tran here, who found something this morning, you'll be able to see the leader, and he'll be thinking, hang on,
It's almost a second out of nowhere over the line. Marquez was leading by just 1/4 of a second to go for it now, potentially with rain coming. He's a second clear of Aleix Espargaro out of nowhere.
he had to the white flag with the red cross, rain falling, and
Yeah, you can see
one.
the spots are on the camera lanes.
On the curbs, there are spots of rain falling, and he slings it up the inside on the curbs, Miguel Oliveira.
Yeah, just when he's losing places, hand over fist, the spots of rain just seem to be disturbing the Aprilia man, Alex Marquez. So Marc Marquez has got his head down here now. He's 1.5 seconds clear
Of just nobody more is managing tyres anymore. They're just saying, let's use them up before it rains.
Close enough to get through on Jack Miller.
Marquez aware that if he builds up judging, changing track conditions, Quartararo fires up the inside of Zarco in the final.
Really not comfortable with the rain falling in this early stage. The approach now then into turn. Make hay while the sun shines, I think is the quote. It's now 1.7. Looking to find a way through just up ahead there. You can see a couple of spots on that camera lens, couldn't you?
You see, this is the difference. What's happened? Another sorry, we're getting Marc Marquez spare
it,
right
sorry.
ready, weren't they? Yeah, I was panic. I thought initially there, probably scenario. Marquez does not care one jot about the championship. He's not a contender, so he can throw a call. A mistake now could be really costly.
Here he comes up the inside.
Yeah.
He's been lining that one up. The dress rehearsal came a bit. Of course, that wrist, let's not forget, he won't want to take any big risks. He's dropped to 11.
So
Here's up to
we start lap number 12. Nowhere near halfway at the moment.
board here with Johan Zarco looking at fellow Frenchman Fabio Quartararo. They are 1 and 2 in the World Championship.
About to be stretched to over 2 seconds for the first time here by Marc Marquez. It was 1.9 through Marquez, through sector 2. Actually, Oliveira's just found a smidgen of time back. It's down to 1 minute.
They might face even more trouble in the latter stages of this Grand Prix, trying to main all pans out. There's Quartararo then still ahead of Zarco in the battle for 5th, Binder behind them, nearing 8th, marking
Almost 3 seconds out of contention. Oliveira's just set the fastest lap of the race. 100th quicker than Marc Marquez ahead of him.
the fan wall. 8 could probably win this one. There is Miguel Oliveira then, a 22-0.
The question mark's going to be, has he let Marc Marquez just get away? Mapping to preservation, mapping just to soften the power. Expect with about 10 laps to go as well, a significant drop-off will a punishing race for Michelin. It's all about who can manage the left grip.
In this Grand Prix, there's Wayne Martin, he's doing a great job, the rookie 9th in the moment ahead of Pole.
Doesn't look like there's going to be anything silver lining though, does it, for him? Maybe for one part of Repsol Honda. Let's go 1:21.772. Again, he finds another 10th on Marquez.
Been playing down their chances this weekend with jangling now. Santi Hernandez, the crew chief of Marc, gets nervous at the best of times.
I wonder, set his personal best lap on the same lap. It was a 1:22.063, which was Marquez.
Keeping a keen eye on proceedings, pit by KTM Motorsport Director. With a second, Binder in 7th place for the Red Bull KTM factory riders. 1.8 the gap up towards turn 13 to tick off another lap. It will be now 14 laps.
He responds to Oliveira's fastest lap with his own, a 1:21.772. Fabio Quartararo, mighty close. They were all doing 22 flats, but it's still Marquez and Oliveira that have got the case.
It would be some story.
Oh, what a story.
But there's a long way to go. This is the line. And the last 10 laps are anyone's guess.
2 seconds for the first time in this race. Marc Marquez
Flag race in Le Mans. You won't want to remember that one too fondly, of course, crashing out twice in name, and the undisputed king of the ring is on course at the moment
to do it again. Marquez in 2021 as he's fighting back to full fitness after that career-threatening injury. So again, these two just keep exchanging fastest laps of this Grand Prix, and the gap.
There is Miller, Lacius Fibre and Quartararo. Zarco at the moment in 6th.
Quickest lap is a 21.7. Marquez is just a fraction slower, so the gap just doesn't really deviate. It's lap 8 or 9. Marc's been able to manage that gap quite comfortably at the moment, although of course we've still got to get to
Marc's teammate just up ahead of Pecco Bagnaia and Alex Rins, who from him, Nakagami's not really done much with that soft rear. Rossi's there in 14th place. Not running bad, you would expect to see Rossi a bit further ahead than him. He's into the late 22s at the moment.
He went for at the moment because he's in 5th place. Rossi's 14th.
Matching lap times at the front again.
But get that gap down to under 1.7 seconds. There are 2 Yamaha men really struggling. Maverick Vignette against Suzuki in 2015. In fact, he's only ever once finished outside of points. Once he was 17th he was.
Well, there's not just a gap forming here at the front in terms of this 2 second now is falling away. Cannot maintain the pace to keep up with Miguel Oliveira. However,
we remember the first 2 sectors. That's where he's able to take those crucial couple of attempts out of Oliveira. And then Oliveira, taking the KTM at the moment, just got that little bit of better edge to it.
Alberto Puig, round of applause. It's the World Championship leader. Here comes Binder up into 6th place ahead of Zarco, but he's really, really wide, and he
went potentially surrendered here by Zarco. He's really, really struggling at the moment. But
this was the move for the World Championship leader. He needed to do that.
Could on the grabs here because Miller's dropping into sort of mid-22s after working out a plan to get on par with Miller and then work out a plan to pass him as well and secure that line. Sector 3 is where the KTM is better. It just seems to be managing the rear tyre, the rear grip better through
on Zarco. In the battle for 6th, across the line we go, a 21.8, 3/10 quicker that time, Miguel Oliveira.
Yeah, that's impressive. Marc Marquez then back in the 22s. Binder and Zarco, I think you should give to me on a track notoriously hard to overtake on. He's done a lot of work just to get himself in.
Yeah, they found something in sector 4 this morning. It's working out well. This gap at the front is going to come down now. I think Miguel will look at 3 by the end of this lap.
The second quickest man on the circuit at the moment. This has happened for a couple of laps now. It's Pecco Bagnaia done a really poor first few laps. He's down in 15th place at one point. but he's doing 22 flats.
Miller was struggling there on the exit of turn 11. Quartararo, the Frenchman, the championship leader then, is onto the podium. He's in third, 1.9. It's 1.4 seconds between Marquez and Oliveira.
And Marquez down to a lot quicker than him. 11 laps to go, so we're 1 lap away from where it's really all about time.
He couldn't find his way around.
Steve, the quickest man on circuit right now, I keep mentioning it, it's Bagnaia. In terms of race pace on a Friday and Saturday, particularly in FP2 and FP4, he was running high, but he's paying so much for that heavy traffic in qualifying yesterday. If he'd have been on the front row, it's much.
The Italian with 11 laps to go. He might still get something on offer though. There's a big group of riders up ahead of him. He can still be a part of. There's still lots to play for in here. And out front, the gap's going to come down again.
Need 4 or 5 laps in a row now where Oliveira's nibbled time away from Marc Marquez. It's further back.
There is Bagnaia involved in this group.
He's got to put a move on Martin super quick. This lap, it has to come this lap if he's got any.
Quartararo trying to get into his mode. He was putting in lots of 121s yesterday in Edith's race. Just a bit further behind there, Brad Binder now. And Pest to Aleix Espargaro trying to get through.
This is a freight train gathering behind him. Led by Aleix Espargaro, Binder's there as well. Zarco done. It had to come at this stage to give himself any kind of chance to find his way back into contention.
8 from winning, but the gap again is another 10th gone. It's going to be some late pressure here.
Pressure. We're about to find out how he can handle it here now in Germany. He is on course right now with consecutive victory for Honda. He's had a nightmare over the last 18 months or so.
That's not been bad pace.
Very, very close to that indeed. Again, Marquez, he's just able to take a 10th and a half out of Oliveira, the Honda. The turning of the Honda in those gnarly first couple of sectors is working better than the KTM, but it's the real grip of the KT2 that
3.7 seconds further back than Daniel Quartararo and this huge bundle of riders. Bagnaia will be a part of cannot watch.
Well, they know what's coming.
It's normally the Jaws music the other way round.
Yeah.
Marquez has got to try and keep his cool because this Portuguese man with so much confidence flowing for his race is going ahead.
Yeah, and once Bagnaia got through on Martin, he was able to immediately drop back straight into the 21. Do you know what? Bagnaia, so hard to overtake around the Sachsenring circuit. That made he has got podium pace unquestionably.
Well, there's about to be something.
Cracking ride by Binder. He was last at the end of that circuit on MotoGP bike, not an easy task, but he always finds something.
At 2 of the inside he goes. In the meantime, out front, the gap maintained at 1.1 between Marquez.
Section that Oliveira's been just a slightly quicker man. He was in the 129s himself again, up 1 second's time in his pocket as well. 7 laps to go. Pressure building on ahead.
7 laps to go, but it's a short circuit out front. 1.1 through sector 1. Marc Marquez leads. In time, if he goes on to win this one. What are we watching here? A replay into turn 1. Has he just gone into 2? But it's sector 3 and 4 you need to keep an eye on. Alberto Puig, Pelio Villama. And so it's going to be under a second, you'd feel, over the line.
Turbulent times for Marc Marquez and HR6 since they returned to the Premier Class in 1982. Winless since Marquez's triumph in Valencia. A bit quicker, just under a 10th faster than Marc Marquez as we start lap 25.
Right, Marquez is doing a great job under pressure here, given everything that's gone on over the last year, he is such a steam train.
You can see Marquez on the gas through turn 6 and then down the hill. It's starting to spin up. Has he got enough life? I think again there on the throttle, he has another moment. Not how much life has he got left in it to hold Oliveira at bay.
It's the man of the era versus the man of the night. On the approach to turn 13, Santi Nandez there.
Marks Alberto Puig continuing to egg his man on. It's under a second.
It is under a second. Marquez can maintain this, he'll hold on.
Stunning performance this by Pecco Bagnaia. 10 laps ago the guy was 5th. He's been supreme. He's now up into 7th place. Found a way through on that last lap against Mia.
But we've seen it so often in MotoGP. Getting into Q2, prick the ears up of Miguel Oliveira.
Again through turns 8 and 9. You can see that Repsol Honda. He's running out of grip here big time on that rear.
Here is Quartararo. He would expect bigger problems at the moment as well. He's dropped to 8th, in this race. Here comes Marquez then, 4, he did well. A good response on that lap from Marc Marquez.
He's riding out of his skin at the moment, Marquez. Oliveira has thrown absolutely everything at him here. He can't do any more than Oliveira. He's ridden an absolutely fantastic
Centre and around the world, typing up the biggest comeback story in MotoGP, ready to spoil all of that.
Well, there's been some great motorcycling comebacks. You think of Supersport 300 winner last weekend after such a serious back injury.
Miguel Oliveira used too much tyre in pursuit of Marc Marquez because the gap's gone over a second again.
Yeah, we'll keep a very close eye on Pit Byra, KTM Motorsport Director. There's Takeo Yokoyama. We were thinking about how Marquez was under pressure from Oliveira, but likewise, Marquez's pace has broken that resistance because there was a big gap, significant gap on that last lap between the pairs.
It's 1.5, it's from him. He's through on Jack Miller. We had KTM second and third. Excellent from Misha Spargaro, and he might even have something to say about his teammate up ahead as well.
Bagnaia was doing formation. He knows he was going to be quick at this stage of the race. He's just been waiting for everybody else's tyre to drop off a cliff.
The riders are enjoying their lap of honour, soaking up the crowd's applause. Let's take the opportunity to have a look at the MotoGP final classification together. We're back in Parc Fermé with the top 3, and this lad got a great second place today. It was a truly outstanding performance. Box office headliner was Thriller Miller today, and it's a happy Hollywood ending for Jack. The Ducati rider deservedly taking to the top step of the podium. What a victory, what a race.
Don't feel fucking at me.